That's pretty badass. I mean, that's a lot done.
Yes.
In the last 2 years.
Absolutely. I think we had some really amazing wins this session.
This past legislative session, in this past 2 years, we've secured over $700 million for the Asian American community. The work that I'm definitely most proud of this past year is that we passed California ID for All bill, where all Californians, regardless of immigration status, they can obtain a state-issued ID. A lot of us might not understand the importance of like having a state-issued ID, but actually that's important to housing, that's important to applying for employment. For all of us who just can obtain an ID easily, it might not be a huge issue, but even though we passed a legislative bill in 2013 that would allow every Californian, regardless of immigration status, apply for a driver's license, people who do not have access to a car or have access to a driving test at the DMV, they actually cannot apply for these state IDs. So we're super proud that we passed this bill last year. We secured $5 million for the CSU to train and recruit more bilingual teachers to teach in our dual immersion classrooms too. So we're excited to see our public school students able to learn a lot of Asian languages if they would choose to. So these are some progress that we've made, and I know, Nikki, in the past we have also had amazing accomplishment in API equity budget. What do you think about that budget?
No, for us, we were very excited, right? Like, one of the few things that, we challenge ourselves a lot around is kind of how do we support the good work being done on the ground by amazing organizations and community members. And so the API equity really was an investment on the community. And so for us, it was very exciting to see, like, for the first time in a very long time, for us to have a conversation of what does it look like to invest in the Asian American community for the benefit of the Asian American community, right? There's a lot more than we have to do. I think it is a one-time 3-year budget. So I do think that we're very committed to continue to advocate for more resources. We believe that this is the right community and the right organizations to work with. So we're very invested on that. But I do think like another one that it's very important for us is like we did get $547 million from the state to address the gap in college readiness for our students of color, especially for the most vulnerable students, where our English learners, right, our foster youth, right, our low-income students. When we're graduating only 50% of our high school students with the pathway towards higher education, there's a problem, right? And then, as you mentioned, the pandemic was a huge hit on our education system with, learning loss, right? So these dollars, over $500 million, was really also, we were able to advocate, get those money down to our local districts to not only address that, kind of how do we get more students in the pathway to higher education, but how do we address the learning loss from the pandemic? And that was super exciting for us to be able to really be able to work with the legislators and really work with our local districts, parents and students in advocating for that win this ledge season.
Wait, so I just want to recap this because this is actually pretty freaking amazing. So just to recap, in the last legislative cycle, we've been able to secure $700 million for College for All, API equity budget, dual language immersion for Asian languages, and we got state IDs, California IDs for all.
Yes.
That's pretty badass. I mean, that's a lot done.
Yes.
In the last 2 years. That's a lot of money. And that's a lot of impact for our communities.
Absolutely.
Well done, ladies.
Yes. I mean, like, one of those things I'm like, let's just own it, right? We are pretty badass. I think so. And I think it's one of those things, like I'm saying, is like, give more women opportunity to be badass, right? Like, give us the space, give us the room to be badass. Trust me, it's going to be one of the best investments that you make is investing in women of color. I think time and time again, we have shown that not only do we execute and we bring it, is that we do it also very faithfully to the community and the people that we represent. And I'm 100% like so thankful for the work that we've done in the last 2 years, but I'm super excited for the next 2 years as well.
Anti-Asian hate put a spotlight on our community, and I'm trying to think about how do we take what was a moment and make sure we build a movement.